You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am one half of the host of Burning Truth, none other than Matt Burns, and with me...
Well, that must make me, John Bloor, the other half then.
Of course.
Hi, everybody.
You might have noticed that we've mixed up, a bit of the intro again.
Yeah, keeping it fresh, keeping it, not letting it get stale, I think is what I was going for there.
Yeah. Correct. But anyway, we've got quite a bit to discuss and very limited time, especially for this week's episode, due to time constraints. So we could end up being very much rushed through a lot of this. And
we're both very busy people, so we're going to cover as much as we can, but we might literally only say a couple of sentences on each. But as long as we cover it and we acknowledge it happened, I think that's okay.
Potentially, as long as we do actually come back at it at a later time. But anyway,
Absolutely.
We've got a lot to discuss, and I know I've got a topic to discuss for this week, especially since I hinted at it last week.
Ooh, I haven't got a good memory like that. Remind me, what was it?
I'll mention it when it arrives.
Oh, I see. But so that's not the thing we're going to go straight into. What are we going to start with then?
What we are going to start with is our usual warning disclaimer: is that that the Burning Truth episodes may have language that may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and maybe if you find it offensive or you do not want your children hearing this, please understand that there may be strong language in the Burning Truth episodes, which is why we got this warning.
The following will contain language not suitable for persons sensitive to strong language, as we may be discussing topics which require it.
Yep.
It may also contain subjects, whether we are using strong language about them or not, which you may not particularly want to listen to. I don't know. If you're a fan of wrestling, I don't see why not, but,
yep.
Subject matter and the language that it causes from both of us, which may not be suitable to younger viewers or the easily offended. And this program still may also contain strobe lighting effects.
And of course, there's also the one other disclaimer that I'm adding on from now on, which is that most of the topics that we do discuss, we will be adding on opinions. That is not facts in some topics.
If we happen to have a reputable source, I say that in air quotes, such as a website, which we are reading from when we quote, then we will say as much, and in which case it comes from that website directly. Otherwise, it's just something we've heard about, and it's our opinions and nothing more. So please only take it as that.
With pinch of salt.
Largely, yeah. We're just two blokes that like wrestling and like talking about it, so that's what we do. We're not stating that we're A, right, or B, infallible, because we are neither. We're just talking, so, the necessary pinch of salt must be taken.
Exactly. So with a lot of this, we've got some topics to discuss, which would be British wrestling, hooray! NXT, hooray! WWE, hooray! And, unfortunately, injuries. Boo.
Injuries and potential quittings. Actual and potential. Boo.
Boo.
So,
yeah.
With that in mind, where do you want to start in that laundry list of awesome things?
I'd say, seeing as ourselves are within, the British borders, of course, we'll start off with British wrestling.
Ooh.
Well,
Reminder, by the way, the show that we plugged last week, GPW, is on the 30th of November at in, I think it's the Monaco in Hindley in Wigan.
Yep.
Can't remember what the show's called for my sins, but it's on the 30th of November in Wigan. So if you're anywhere near that, get down and put a couple of extra bums in their seats. You won't regret it.
Correct. There's plenty more shows, of course, as always. We're always recommending, and we'll probably give you a bit of an idea on how to find local shows a little bit later in the plugs. But anyway,
Indeed.
We digress. And this
You
is not,
have been racking up. Sorry, go on.
This is British wrestling, but it's also a bit of Matt Burns news.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have been racking up an almost Millie McKenzie or perhaps even Chantel Jordan-like amount of shows that you've been going to over this last couple of weeks or so. Hint, two of the hardest workers in British wrestling. If you are a new up-and-coming British wrestler, look at their work rate, copy it, you'll do well. But basically, Matt Burns has been to a show, at least one show every week, and so we talk about them because, you know.
Yes. However, I will say that on the most recent show I attended to, I was not in the crowd.
Ooh.
I was actually on the show.
He was a part of the card, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. If, in case anybody was interested in to find out more about that, that was for Slam Wrestling, which was in Cannock. As for what happened and what matches are, no spoilers allowed because the show was recorded and we won't be giving that away.
Needless to say, it will appear probably with hints and things and watch this show and stuff on social media. It will appear on the Slam Wrestling. Just have social media? Do they have a website it's going to be on? Will it be on TV?
They have their own website, I believe, but they have their own social media, of course. There's been speculation of multiple places of it being, but the best place to find out where all that is on their social media. Definitely.
So Mr. Matt Burns has been to their show. We can't give you away any more details than that, other than it was a bit good. He's on it. Look out for it coming soon.
And I've got a bit of a sore jaw.
Yes. There's many completely not suitable for children jokes I could go down the road of with that, but I'll refrain because it's early doors.
Please do. All I'll just say to you is, my opponent decided to imitate someone from NXT UK /205 Live.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and there was me literally minding the gutter. I'll drag it out and we'll stick to thinking about wrestling, shall we? Cool.
Pretty much.
But anyway, Matt Burns was at another UK wrestling show, which is awesome. It was, which one? What are they called? Slam Wrestling?
It was Slam Wrestling.
So for trailers, teasers and details about both that show and all their future upcoming stuff, check out their website and social media.
And speculation is they've got an announcement for a possible new show that should be getting revealed. Potentially could be either now or it could be in the next few days.
So, I believe I just said keep your eyes peeled, but I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. We can't give away spoilers, so there's not much more we can say. So, with Plug TPW, we'll let you know how to find all the British wrestling you can possibly eat in the plugs, as Matt Burns said, but I think that pretty much covers that.
It does, but however, UKWA.
Ooh, didn't see that coming. Probably should have, but didn't. Go on.
UKWA. We haven't got an official date yet, but
stay tuned.
But do stay tuned, and who knows? The second you do know, you'll probably know more about it. It will be the finest hour.
Ooh.
When you find out.
The finest hour? Is that a subtle hint?
That's all I'm saying.
You're not referring to the song by Elbow entitled Finest Hour, or the radio show presented by Guy Garvey, the singer from Elbow, which is also called Finest Hour.
We'll have to wait and see.
Indeed we will. But nonetheless, exciting UKWA news. imminent. Stay tuned.
That it will be, but as soon as there's any posters or anything being released, it will be out on our social media and most likely be getting plugged on this broadcast.
Indeed, as will any facets of the show. Match card, which will always be subject to change, potential appearances, things like that. Soon as Matt Burns can tell me, I will pass it on to you, or he will.
And the interesting thing about it is the card that we've come up with, that's been developing, is very unique.
Do you know what? In this crowded current field of wrestling promotions in Britain and all over the world, to be able to actually say that is a rare and wonderful thing. So that's good.
And better yet, take into account, at any time, the main event I may have in my mind could actually change, remember, folks.
Yeah, which is why, one of the many reasons why we're not rushing into telling you what it might be yet, only to then have to go back on it a bit nearer the time. See?
No.
Brain screwed on here.
The problem is, the match could actually be announced and it could actually change on the night, even if I announced it. Because don't forget, there is a certain winner who earned the right to have any match at any time for any
against anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to know who that might be, UKWA back catalogue available now on Turnbuckle TV. Yours for just $3.99 a month.
Correct, and I believe the show was Ready for War.
What, in which said person won said match?
Yeah.
No, I believe it might be the show named after said person, but don't, let me correct you.
No, it was Ready for War, that's all it was. You'll have to wait and see.
I see, I'm getting moderately confused. I'm thinking completely about the wrong UKWA
That you are.
Wrestler. I nearly said superstar then, and I would have slapped myself if I had.
I would have had to have slapped you on principle for that. But anyway, the point being is, what I'm trying to make out here is...
Basically, somebody won a match which guaranteed them a title match of their choosing at a time of their choosing, and we might be filling in the blanks at some point soon, even though the blanks could be subject to change at any point up until the bell rings. I think that's as clearly as we can put it, to be honest.
Hell, actually, it can actually change during, because remember what I stated, he can cash in any time.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said, right up until the bell rings after he's cashed in is what I meant, but yeah, okay. And to be fair, if he's in the area...
Who knows?
R-Truth, who by then may be 37 times 24/7 champion, might be in the house, and somebody might pin him as well. You never know.
Oh, that could happen.
That's the point. It's UKWA. Anything could happen.
Exactly. But anyway...
Speaking of anything could happen...
But anyway, we digress. Hopefully, the gentleman in question, who knows, at the next show, yeah. he could be looking out for his finest hour, potentially. We'll have to wait and see.
Ooh. Looking forward to that. But speaking of anything can happen, there's a lovely segue there. I've been watching WWE TV recently.
Yes.
Bloody hell, anything could happen, couldn't it? It's absolute carnage, but in the best possible way.
What the hell?
In the lead up to both NXT War Games 2019 and Survivor Series, now featuring NXT. Bloody hell, indeed. It could actually be one of those periods where WWE have captured lightning in a bottle and literally everything they're doing works and is genius.
But at the same time, credit out to the NXT roster.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. For potentially approximately half of them working a War Games match or a match on the War Games card and then a Survivor Series match the next night. Good Lord, they're going to know how the people who have to do a pay-per-view and then Monday Night Raw feel on Monday night. If they have to do Raw as well, I don't want to be them on Tuesday. I do not want to have to be them on Tuesday because that
would be
they will have aches in places they didn't know they had places.
That would be the perfect time for WWE to then release the bodies battered, necks broken, careers ended in an instant. The hazards are real.
This is entertainment, but the hazards are real. No matter who you are, whatever you do, don't try this at home. Be it professional wrestling
or
broadcasting.
Or even at school. Just to point that out. That was a WWE...
Home,
that was
at school, or anywhere. Except
basically
a fully regulated professional wrestling training school.
Correct. Just don't try it.
Yeah. Unless you know where a wrestling training school is, which has accredited teachers and can actually teach you safely and legally, don't try it.
Yeah. It's not like we hint at one every week. Oh wait, we do.
Yeah. It's not like there aren't pretty much one for every promotion in the country, or at the very least one in every region, pretty much, and you can find them fairly easily on the internet.
Yeah, because you almost slipped up there. Because remember, UKWA doesn't have one yet, possibly. Possibly.
However,
that
doesn't mean we can't make use of all of the UK's fantastic talent pool.
Correct.
But we digress. We were talking about the brilliance of WWE and everything that's going down into what is going to be an unmissable weekend of pay-per-view action next weekend with both War Games and Survivor Series, now featuring NXT. But that means...
due to time constraints, though, ladies and gentlemen, we've had to put one predictions this week and the next predictions on the night,
next week.
On the day.
Bearing in mind that War Games will take place next Saturday before we're on air, we're going to be doing a prediction for them tonight and the predictions for Survivor Series on the night. We may be starting a little bit early or bang on 9 o'clock next week, so that we can get everything done and dusted before the kickoff show starts.
No kidding.
We're going to be doing the predictions for Survivor Series next week, but right now, I think it's time. It's prediction time. I don't know what's come over me with the voiceover voices today, but I quite like it.
I know. You're adding in that, now in a movie scene voice,
And now, 1-800-COLLECT presents WWE Royal Rumble. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mr. McMahon, sir, if you're listening, I am available for that job.
Exactly. Or you're doing the proper, the movie guy. One man, one championship.
One cage. One
exactly.
night. One
exactly. You get what I mean.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But anyway, we're digressing.
I think we're digressing massively. We need to get back to predictions for NXT War Games 2019, or to put it another way, War Games 3. War Gamia.
Or more.
Hang on, no. War Gamia was 2, so 3 must be...
Give me more war!
War Games 3. Warmageddon.
Or just, give me more war!
Yeah, that'll do. So, there are currently only 3 confirmed and 1 pretty damn certain it's going to happen, but it's not been officially confirmed yet. Match is for the card, so this shouldn't take very long.
No. Would you care to mention the one that isn't officially announced?
The one that is not officially announced, but I'm expecting in the fullness of time will be on the card, is a triple threat match featuring Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, and the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest.
Now, because that's not officially official match, we can't actually add it on to the predictions.
Oh, we can, but we'll just add a disclaimer. Do not, discard if not applicable. If this match doesn't happen, pretend we never said anything.
It never happened.
Indeed.
Right.
But unofficially, I'm saying Pete Dunne for the win.
Damian.
Simply because you think Damian Priest.
No, Damo.
Killian Dane.
Oh, sorry. Killian Dane. I'm used to him being... I'm used to his former name. But anyway, Killian. Yes. I can see...
It makes it even more confusing that, Damian Priest is in the match.
I know.
Who also used to have a different name.
Yes. He did. But anyway.
Yeah, okay. So we're going for Dane and Dunn in this match, but if it doesn't happen, we never said anything. You didn't hear it. You can't prove anything. It's not on tape or anything.
It was Killian for me.
And Dunn for me. Which it has. But thank you. I'm here all week. If you're driving tonight, don't forget your car.
Calm down, JB. Let's continue.
I blame inner voiceover man. He's making me a bit giddy.
Just stop it.
Right, the first match officially confirmed. Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor. No, officially, this match was originally supposed to be Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. Gargano. So Matt Riddle has stepped up to face the returning vengeful Finn Balor. Come back to unfortunately home in NXT and doesn't seem to like what he's found.
Right. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a minor glitch there. I believe my colleague was stating that Finn Balor is crossed with the current events of NXT is, and that he wants to shape things for the better.
Well, yes, he does.
But anyway, I'm going to predict first on this one for a bit of a mighty change on this one, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go out on a limb here. Oh, wait, I'm not going out on a limb. It's going to be Finn Balor.
I'm sorry to have to disappoint you, but this match is about as predictable as when Finn Balor faced The Fiend, except this time he's going to win. Yeah. Matt Riddle will no doubt put up an awesome fight, but I'm going Finn Balor all the way on this one as well.
Yeah.
Right. The next match, because we need to crack on, is the first ever Women's War Games match. I've got incredibly camp all of a sudden, and I don't like it. Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim. Card subject to change, potentially, I don't know. Versus Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
Wow, what a match that's going to be.
That it is.
Because we know all of them can go.
No kidding.
And good Lord, I wouldn't want to... I mean, fair enough, she's picked herself a handy team, but I would not want to be Shayna Baszler locked in that double cage with those four. Especially not Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Who seems to be on a bit of a dominance.
Just a bit, yeah. Seems to have rebounded from the upset of Piper Niven coming into NXT UK and sort of knocking her off her dominance perch by going to Full Sail, full NXT, and doubling down and being 14 times as dominant over there, including not so much as once ever even remotely backing down from Shayna Baszler, which is not something you say about everyone.
True. But let me just state this. Michael Cole, I need to point this out to you. Wrestling fans that are watching WWE, most of them will probably have the WWE Network. Yes. We know Rhea Ripley was the first ever WWE UK Women's Champion.
NXT UK Women's Champion, yeah. But it doesn't hurt to repeat it.
It doesn't, but doing it on the episode about 4 or 5 times...
Well, I know what you're saying. There's so much a thing as overkill. I've got a bone to pick with another WWE person for their choice of words, but we'll get into that later because that's got nothing to do with TakeOver.
True. Anyway.
But anyway, for this one, I am thinking heels to win.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes. I'm looking at it and I genuinely think simply because of the fact that it will probably be screwy enough to justify a future title match between Ripley and Baszler. There's a cage around the ring, so I'm not 100% sure how Shafir and Duke are going to get involved, but they will.
Of course.
So it's going to be a screwy finish, but I predict that Team Baszler will win.
Sorry.
You disagree? Good, because at least
Yeah.
that means one of us will be wrong and one of us will therefore win.
Yeah, I absolutely do think the opposite of this. I actually think Team Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim will get the win. As much as you may disagree, because what a perfect way to make Rhea Ripley a number one contender.
Can't argue with that logic. But I'm sticking with what I said.
And regardless of it, there's also potential of also making someone a number one contender for another championship in that match.
Indeed, there is. Are you possibly thinking that that a certain person might soon be the number one contender, Shiniest Wizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Or perhaps Shiniest number one contender Wizard sounds better. I don't know. But anyway, you're hinting that there might be a fight between a woman from Wales and one from Scotland for an English championship very soon.
For the UK championship.
Well, UK championship, yes.
I can see what you were attempting.
Fell down at the last hurdle. So close.
So close.
Anyway, so I'm saying the heel team, you're saying the face team. That's good, that's different. And the third match, the final match, so far announced, 3 official, 1 unofficial, for those keeping score, is the men's War Games match.
Yeah.
The Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee. Sorry?
Daddy. As the NXT calls him.
Yes. Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, bask in his glory.
Limitless.
And feast your eyes, it's Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah. And wait.
TBA. To be announced. We don't know. Originally was going to be Matt Riddle as the 4th man. But a little bit of a, card subject to change shuffle. Johnny Gargano's injured, so Matt Riddle is now facing Finn Balor, so there is still a spot open on Team Ciampa.
Yeah.
Who do you think it's going to be? Before we get to who's going to win, who do you think the 4th man's going to be?
It's trying to decide on that. Team Ciampa, a fourth member.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, that one is.
I have an idea who it might possibly be. Someone from the NXT UK roster. And basically, this is more a case of I'd really like it to be than I think it's going to happen. But
okay. Would you care to name?
I believe in a previous life, his nickname might have been the illegitimate child. It wasn't, but the word for that, which I'm trying not to swear too much, so we won't go there. The Bomber, Dave Mastiff.
You're going with Dave Mastiff.
Like I said, it's more a case of I'd like than I think it'll actually happen, but yeah, I'm going with it.
I've got a pick.
I'm racking my brains now to try and think who you've picked, because I know when you say the name, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'd have chosen them if I'd thought of them.
Fingers crossed. I hope he isn't injured. And I mean this massively right now. In fact, I'm going as far as to check it right now to make sure they aren't injured.
Well, I'm fairly sure the person that I originally was going to pick for team faces, but all quite capable of being heelish bastards and doing heelish things, is injured. Otherwise, I would have picked someone totally different. But because, like I said, they fit like a charm into that description.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
I bet you're wondering who I was originally thinking of.
Go on.
I'll give you a clue. They have links to Dave Mastiff in NXT UK.
Mine doesn't.
And were formerly in a tag team called FSU. And no, I'm not saying what that stands for. Family Broadcast.
No. Mine is... hang on.
Just while Mr. Matt Burns makes sure that this person is not injured and is therefore eligible, the person who I would have chosen, but I know for a fact they are injured, just in case you've put 2 and 2 together at home, was Eddie Dennis.
Nope.
It's not him because he's injured. I know that. Who was yours?
He is part of the NXT roster.
He's part of the NXT, what we'll say for the sake of argument, US roster.
Yes.
Okay.
He is a former North American champion.
Just trying to think of those who are still on NXT who've held that title. Hold on. I know for a fact there have been 4. Hang on, there have been 4 NXT North American champions, have there not? One's on Raw, or possibly SmackDown. One's injured, and the other 2 are in War Games. So unless I'm missing the 5th one. Do you mean the injured one?
The injured. Is he actually injured?
What? The Velveteen Dream?
Yeah.
Yes. There's a reason why they did the angle where Roderick Strong kicked the ever-loving crap out of him and dumped him, and they wrote him off TV.
Damn it. That's mine out.
Yes. Well, like I say Dave Mastiff, but solely because, you know, the with the exception of Tommaso Ciampa, who's a small, wiry, hard as nails bastard, the sort of demographic for Team Ciampa seems to be hard as nails bastards, and Dave Mastiff fits that very, very strongly. Hell, that was even his nickname.
Yeah. And that's just absolutely destroyed me, the fact that I just been sitting here thinking to myself, is he injured? Is he injured? No, he isn't. He isn't. Oh, great.
Yeah. So, would you like to say who you think's going to win this one?
No. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and try to think
of who the 4th man could be.
Yeah, potentially.
Well, based on current exposure, amount of potential that he's been given, and what? I can think of one NXT US name that it could be. Like I say,
think of
based off current TV exposure and stuff.
I can think of one person who would want to stick it to somebody, and it would also allow them extra media for NXT.
Right, no, I'm sorry. I'll kick myself when you say, but
the WWE Raw roster.
Ooh, not who I was thinking of then.
I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Interesting. You know what? Like I say, based on recent time on NXT TV, the wins he's been picking up, the fact that they seem to be putting the weight of the machine behind him, I was going to say Isaiah Swerve Scott, but I can see where you're going with Seth Rollins, to be honest, because the whole point of building up for the next night, you know, someone from the main roster invading, yeah, that would work.
But assisting one team. Because if you think about it, Seth Rollins doesn't actually have a match against NXT.
Nope.
But he could possibly do some damage to the Undisputed.
Absolutely.
And they're going to want to take another shot, aren't they?
Absolutely. Well, it could happen, yeah. That's interesting. Like I said, I'd say Isaiah Scott because, you know, up and comer. on TV getting wins. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But again, this just basically just highlights.
We're just taking a
could
swing.
be basically could be anybody. We're just swinging in the dark.
That we are.
But it's going to be fun
predictions?
finding out. So that's my prediction is whoever the fourth man is, that team.
Yeah.
Team Ciampa.
You're going to go with Team Ciampa?
Yeah.
Irony, and I'm really sorry for this, it looks like it's both.
You are as well. Okay. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
And I know you're thinking, huh? 2 face wins for the both War Games matches?
I was thinking that, but I wasn't actually thinking that much into it. But yeah, that's kind of why I went for the heel team to win the women's one, because the faces are so obviously going to win the men's one.
But I can see it being a very facey finish.
Well, interesting.
I do. But anyway.
So, those are the 3 matches and the one unofficial one. Those are our predictions. We need to move on because we've got more to talk about. And as always, when there's us talking to each other, as opposed to just one of us talking to you directly, time is getting on.
That it is. But anyway, we're now going to speed things up right now. As I'm pretty much just going to be basically covering a lot. I believe that we're just going to be covering the injuries list right now, which is unfortunately at the moment, and this does also include AEW. We've also got Matt
quite
Jackson.
Long.
What?
The list is quite long, unfortunately.
We have got Matt Jackson, who's actually injured, but we don't know if it's actually official or if it's storyline. More likely, from the looks of it, storyline. We've got Johnny Gargano, who's injured.
Yes, legitimately. Knee injury. No specifics, but precautionary measure to keep him out of the ring. Should be back soon, fingers crossed. Because I, for one, am proper looking forward to Gargano against Balor properly, so bring him back. Mia Yim suffered a combination of a nasal fracture and possible rib fractures from the ladder match with Io Shirai on NXT this week.
Yeah, which might mean
I know
her match, she could be getting changed.
Potentially, Dakota Kai may make an appearance in the Women's War Games match.
The problem is with Dakota Kai, she might not be actually cleared herself from rumours.
Oh, really?
Rumours.
I see.
For the War Games. She is cleared to wrestle one-on-one matches, but might not be cleared for War Games. Don't know. But personally, I think she should be fine, especially seeing as she wrestled on SmackDown, I believe.
Yes.
But anyway, there's one more injured on your list.
There is no injury update on any of the people who Bayley laid out during NXT. Namely Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, Rhea Ripley, Marina Shafir, or Jessamine Duke. So we have to assume that all of them have not sustained serious injuries and will be okay for the pay-per-view. But in her match with Xia Li on NXT, Aaliyah suffered nasal fracture and possible orbital floor fracture with a bit of a stiff roundhouse kick. Not currently medically cleared to compete.
Yeah.
Apparently told fans on Twitter she suffered a broken nose.
Ooh.
But, either way, painful injury and currently not cleared to compete due to that.
Yeah. And believe me, broken nose is never pretty.
No. I would just like to say thank you to WrestlingInc.com, where I got that list of injuries. Yeah. Because, I use the internet, so I might as well credit the people.
And there's also WrestleZone who's covered it as well.
Yeah. So that's the injury list. It's quite long, but none of them are serious or long term. So,
but the difference is the Matt Jackson one could be more on stage, for thingy, for storyline purposes.
There's every chance, yeah.
Yes. And at the moment, currently, we also know that Cody Rhodes is still off, and of course, A certain Kenny Omega is still off at the moment as they are not cleared, even though Cody Rhodes did make an appearance, brave as it was, supposedly wasn't cleared to wrestle, but he still wrestled.
Yes.
But anyway,
something tells me he was cleared, or they wouldn't have let him anywhere near the ring. But that's just a cynic in me.
Yeah, but anyway, we've got a lot to cover right now because
have we ever?
Just covered the injuries. Let me just state this: we are going to be covering the WWE Survivor Series prediction next week. But anyway, for WWE, this is going to be the main topic right now, which is going to be WWE, which is mostly what we're going to be covering right now. And I'm going to start off with the WWE section by literally stating the topic that I covered last week. Well, didn't quite finish, which was the fact that, it was basically used as a plug for this episode.
I see what you did there. Yes, unfortunately, my memory is modelled on a colander, and I can't remember that far back what you said, but nonetheless, please remind me.
Which was, I was going to make a bold prediction in regards to the WWE Raw Women's Championship.
I see. You were. I remember you briefly talking about this before we came on air, and you just said that. You would give me no more details.
Yes. Now, this is the prediction is, how long do I think Becky Lynch will keep that championship belt for?
That championship, she has held it since WrestleMania in April, so...
Yep.
That is now 8 months.
And I could see her defending it till WrestleMania.
I also can. I came up with a counter claim. Yeah. Anyone can hear any noise in the background? It's Pumpkin, my cat.
Yeah. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, you think she will be keeping it for until WrestleMania, which will mean one whole calendar year, or probably just over.
To be even more bolder...
You think you know who she's going to lose it to?
Yes. And I think it'll be somebody who wins the Women's Rumble.
Oh, right, okay.
It'll be
that
somebody
is
returning.
Logical and sensible.
It'll be someone returning.
I see.
The baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, right. I'm glad you clarified, because I was going to say Chantal Jordan doesn't have a WWE contract. As far as I know. Okay, that's interesting. I would not have said that. I don't necessarily agree. I think Becky Lynch will not keep the title until WrestleMania. I think she will lose it sooner, although I think the title's future may potentially have a certain former champion in it.
Ooh. Tell me your reason why you don't think it will be Ronda, and I'll tell you why mine is.
I think Ronda will be involved, but I think her match will be against the person that wins the championship.
Okay.
In a bit of long-term booking.
Okay.
I think, come the time, some point around... some point between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania next year, I think the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble will challenge, because they come from that brand, the NXT Women's Champion for the title, will dethrone the NXT Women's Champion, who will then decide that she is making her way to Raw, where she will dethrone Becky Lynch, possibly at WrestleMania, and sometime later on in the year, like SummerSlam or something, the title match will be between Shayna Baszler and a returning... I nearly said Chantal Jordan then. Ronda Rousey.
No, I can't, because at the moment, the reason why I think it'll be Ronda Rousey is simply because why do they keep referencing her?
That's a good point. Why do they keep doing that if they have no future plans for her?
Referencing her? Yeah. They are clearly making it very clear that they are keeping her in the minds of people. The fact that you've
Yes.
got Becky Lynch saying, to Shayna, I beat Ronda Rousey. What am I going to do to you? And Shayna even saying, I ain't Ronda Rousey.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I think it'll involve possibly the Raw Women's Championship, but somewhere down the line,
Mm-hmm.
Rousey and Baszler will fight for a WWE Women's Championship.
Agreed, but I think that'll be after WrestleMania when Becky Lynch has been defeated.
Well, I did say, yeah, potentially as far away as next year's SummerSlam. I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
that's what I've outlined. Let's see. Both of us could be right. Both of us could be spectacularly wrong. Let's let time pass and let's find out.
Right.
But either
That's
way, women's division
topic.
looking good for the next year or so.
Correct. And none other than that, we've got to cover Universal Championship.
Held by the Fiend Bray Wyatt, is now the main title on SmackDown, and so as a result, has had a little makeover.
Yeah, not the makeover we wanted.
Not the makeover we wanted at all, but a good start. It now, mirroring the tag team championships for that brand, has a leather background, the main colour of the brand.
Which, oddly, I will state, does make it look more better.
It looks better, yes, because,
It does.
it's the blue brand. Having a red title is silly. So now it has...
No. I just think the blue colours actually suit better than the red did.
I agree. It's the same as when the tag team titles were sort of, what was it, copper or bronze coloured metal on black straps when there was just one set. And then they turned them to silver and put them on red and blue backgrounds for each brand, and it made them 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
The main plates are still hideously ugly, but they're 1,000 times better than they were.
Yeah. But anyway, we're digressing again, but let me just push.
We're good at that.
Let me just push on. It's all fine and dandy. It looks a bit better. It's not the belt that we wanted.
We wanted a full-blown smoking skull when Stone Cold had it style Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Basically, I don't know, the Fiend's face as the main plate or something a little bit worrying like that. Yeah, but that's what I was hoping for. In the spirit of his new lamp, which is a bit weird. His face as the main plate, a sort of completely custom belt. That's what I was hoping for, but didn't happen. However, the rebrand, as we said, the blue is better than the red. It's an improvement.
Yeah. And do you know the reason why they did the switch?
Beyond because Brock Lesnar asked them to, and they will do whatever he wants.
No. Do you know the reason why the WWE Championship is on Raw?
Because the WWE Championship is the flagship title that's been around for 45 years, and Raw is the flagship show.
Are you ready for this?
Go on.
Wrong.
Well, that's the logical answer, but this is WWE. When does logic ever come into anything?
Rumor
Go on.
has it that Vince McMahon is actually more heavy bound on the Universal Championship. And
well, as in he prefers it. The title he created. He prefers the title he created 4 years ago to the title he created 45 years ago. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Possibly.
Wow. Wowzers.
Yeah.
That is bad.
And the reason why they switched it is because since the whole thing with Fox taking SmackDown and taking into account who's winning the ratings war.
SmackDown. Yeah.
Basically, I think they try and get more credibility for the WWE Universal Championship, seeing as Brock Lesnar's reign, multiple reigns with it, destroyed it. Oh,
essentially, yes.
Essentially, but what's happening with the WWE Championship? Oh, who's got it? Oh, whoa, crap! Lesnar's got it.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, WWE's plan seems to be make the Universal title more credible by making the WWE title less credible, and we all know the folly of that. But that seems to be what they're after.
And there is a rumor going around, which was actually I was actually brought to my attention by a YouTube clip. There isn't anything set in stone, so notice what I say with a pinch of massive salt.
Essentially, a whole one of those big yellow cellars that they keep by the road for when it's frosty and they have to defrost large areas of road. That much salt.
Yeah, pretty much is the fact that Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar got into an argument.
I see. Heaven forbid.
And it's to do with the involving the match that Brock Lesnar's got at Survivor Series. But, just like last week, I will not mention why there was an argument between them.
We will mention it next week when we do the Survivor Series predictions.
Correct.
Yeah, see, I can do this. Spoilers for next week game as well.
Of course.
So, sorry, not spoilers, teasers to make you listen next week.
You knew exactly where I was leading it.
Yes, absolutely. And it was good. I approve.
Correct.
Well done, sir.
Correct. But anyway, we digress. We've now got to officially now move on to the next subject already, which is
leavings or releases or whatever you want to call it.
We'll call it. We'll cover the main leaver at the moment.
The main person who, according to them, has left and renounced their WWE name and retaken their independent name and wants nothing to do with the company, but hasn't been officially released.
Oh dear.
We are talking about the Scottish wrestler. Oh, sorry, no, there are full stops between that. It's ACH.
Former ACH.
No, now once again he claims, although he's not officially been released, known as ACH, formerly, very briefly, in NXT, known as Jordan Miles.
Yeah.
Was given the push to the moon, won the NXT Breakout Tournament, got in a bit of a hissy fit about what he perceived as racism on a t-shirt design, which he complained about and which was pulled before any was sold. And decided to take his ball and go home. That is, as far as I can tell, the size of the situation.
Yeah.
So
and you know it's big when the Sun of the UK newspaper and Daily Mail are covering it.
Yes, I'm fairly sure the main reason that both of those are covering it stems from the racism angle that they like milking for all it's worth, which may be a part of the reason why ACH Jordan Miles felt aggrieved, but probably is very much not the whole reason. The UK gutter press, they like sensationalism, what can I say? But yeah, it's big enough news that British national newspapers are getting on it. When was the last time they ever did that for wrestling? Oh yeah, when Davey Boy Smith won things. Or possibly Tyson Fury recently, but we'll pretend that didn't happen just because the point is it never happens.
Yeah.
So yeah. We don't know the full facts of what happened. I outlined a minute or two ago what we know, as far as I know. We can't really comment any further because we don't know the ins and outs, but needless to say, WWE have made no official statement releasing him, but as far as he's concerned, he don't work there anymore.
Yes, but I believe that one fan even asked ACH was legally able to move on from WWE, but he confirmed that's not the case, which he literally stated, legally no, mentally yes. So
basically, He's taken his ball and gone home, a la many superstars over the years, but has not been officially released. So, while you may expect a strong presence from him on the internet, don't expect to see him wrestling anywhere else anytime soon.
The problem is, this is a topic that we've got to be very, very careful of.
Well, yeah, no, that was it. I was going to say, while the lawsuit or whatever, or the contract negotiations are rumbling on, he may speak out on social media, but while he's still officially under contract to WWE, he won't be wrestling anywhere else. That's pretty much a given.
Correct. And we are not putting out an opinion on this.
No, whatsoever. This is just stating the facts based on, he's got a legally binding WWE contract. He may want out of it, but they haven't released him, so that's a fact. He can't wrestle anywhere else.
Correct. And potentially they could end up extending it.
And forcing him to sit at home and do nothing just to spite him. Has been done before. Potentially could happen again.
Potentially. Now, the thing is...
Again, we're not taking any sides in this. We're not commenting on the potential reasons for his displeasure. We're just trying to bring you the facts on this one because, let's be honest, it's a goddamn minefield and we'd be idiots to try.
Correct. And it's a certain thing that we're not going to cover in the sense of, because it's more or less of, we don't know the full story as such, and the nature of the subject is something that's very touchy. And if I'm honest with you, I'll be personally brutal here against ourselves. We are not in a position to cover this story and adding our opinions on it. I believe that should be saved for...
We should wait until either the WWE or... Well, no, basically we should wait until WWE releases an official statement and then
or ACH.
simply tell you when that happens. Present without comment. That's probably the safest way.
Correct.
Let's move on to safer ground.
Yes.
Apparently, only Lorcan has also requested his release.
Rumour has it he supposedly has, and he's not the only one. Speculation that there is multiple stars supposedly have been handing in their notice, and I believe that one person got refused, a certain form of bludgeon brother. Yes.
But the thing is, quite a lot of the people who were, again, dodgy ground this, don't want to make any accusations, simply want to state facts. But the people who were involved in the situation in Saudi Arabia might possibly be quite a few of the people who are, due to that and possibly many other factors, somewhat disenfranchised with their current situation.
True. And on
top
of that, another person who's rumoured, it's speculation, especially with some of the with his post on Twitter,
is
be none other than Sin Cara.
Ah, yes. He did make a post on social media stating he has travelled the world with the company, had many opportunities, and sat and waited for the one that he hoped would put a rocket under him and send him to the stardom he feels that he's capable of, but that it may now never happen. So he'd like to cut his losses and go back to his native Mexico.
Yeah.
That was my understanding of it. Again, that's what he said. WWE has made no official statement at this time.
Correct.
So, beyond the simple, bald fact of what he has put on social media, again, presented without comment.
And with a pinch of salt. And now, rumour has it that WWE are supposedly going to be possibly accepting some of them to actually be able to leave. Yes. And I know from the silence then, you were like, huh?
There are, well, the fact remains, if you include NXT and NXT UK, who are a separate bracket because they have not got standard WWE contracts because of the infrequent nature of NXT UK programming, they are still allowed to take WWE approved outside bookings. So just basically, including everyone that WWE currently has in the talent pool, what is there, like 300 people? If they want to release 5 of them to cut the wage bill a bit, I can't say I blame them. Because there's just not... I don't care how much TV WWE has every week. There isn't enough room for that many people. So, with that in mind, have you got any names of who the people that they might be happy to release are? Or is this just pure pinch of salt speculation?
Pinch of salt speculation, nothing guaranteed. And the funny thing about
keep
it
your
is,
eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled. But, and this is once again with a pinch of salt again, the reason being, the reason why they may be allowing the request is because they might be getting them to sign a contract before they leave.
Again, this is all rumour. We cannot guarantee this is true. This is just from the depths of the internet, and as you know, you can never fully verify anything from on there until, in this case, WWE has officially stated as much. So that big road clearing bucket by the side of the road full of salt again. But This contract sounds like something that they can't legally enforce, if you've told me right.
Possibly. Now, 9 out of 10 times you can potentially say the 30-day clause as such, but then...
Isn't it not 90 days
No,
these
90
days?
days, that was a 90-day clause that they can't wrestle elsewhere, which we know about. Now, the problem is, rumour has it that they're supposedly getting them to sign an agreement that they can go anywhere else. But after the 90 days, however, they cannot go to AEW.
Whatever.
It's not been speculated on how long.
I was going to say, because in that case, perhaps expect to see, and again, I'm speculating, this is entirely my opinion, this is no basis in fact, it's merely just a thought that I've just had, so please only take it as such, but you could see an influx of former WWE performers having very short stays in other American indie promotions as a stopgap, and then from there going to AEW as a third party, because I can't see that like saying you can never work for them can possibly be legally binding.
Possibly.
But I'm not an expert in law, so I don't know that that's true.
However, if they do sign it and do leave, and they've signed it, that could... Yeah.
Well, if they have signed it, I'm sure that it's a whole murky pool of horrible, heaven knows what, infested water if they were to sign it and then go and work for AEW and try and take it to court. And I wouldn't like to possibly speculate as to how legally binding it actually is. But needless to say, the fact that WWE are even contemplating this, if in fact they are, because we don't know that for certain, smacks of desperation a little bit.
Yeah.
Has that covered our asses enough?
Potentially, but I'm just having a quick peek at... There might be a potential update, and believe it or not, another person who's gone very public about potentially considering to leave is none other than Mike Kanellis as well.
I can't blame the guy. He's not really been given much of an opportunity, has he? Other than to humiliate himself on 205 Live. But again, this is all speculation. Have you got a source for this, or is it just the internet?
Right. This is from, I believe, from Wrestling Inc. They are actually stating... I'm just having a look on the note on it now.
Go on, right? I'll just briefly talk amongst myself while you just read quickly. As we say, just a matter of interest. You can tell that we are on unsure legal ground here because of the way we're pussyfooting around. Let's be honest. We can't say anything for certain. This is just speculation, and nothing may come of it. So, you know what? Yeah, go on.
How the rumor has it stated on this is, however, we're going around now is that they may be giving releases once again, at least to some talents, with the belief that those talents wouldn't be signing with AEW, or if they did, wouldn't help AEW any.
I have got the feeling, right, that they shouldn't be worried, and that they should simply take the approach, if they want to go AEW, let them. To paraphrase the great Vince McMahon himself, I want competition, damn it. You know, if they want to leave, let them go wherever they like. Agreed. Surely, either
yes and no, 1,
2, or 3 other companies, potentially the 2, 3, and 4 in the US at the moment, having a position of a deep enough roster of talented enough guys to actually challenge WWE, so that the top 3 wrestling companies in North America aren't Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, but WWE and 2 others.
Yep.
That's not a bad thing. So I'm not sure what they're worried about. But
true. But the thing
then,
is, they're probably worried in the fact that, yes, that some stars are going over to AEW, which AEW will capitalize on, almost like a certain other wrestling company did in the past. Not hinting there.
yeah, but look where that got them. I mean, they tried, but I also think that, yeah, already having, as they have, the whole of the rest of the world's wrestlers to choose from and a fairly deep talent pool of their own, leaving WWE is no guarantee that AEW will even be interested.
True.
So there is that to consider as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you're someone who is frustrated at their position in the WWE mid-card, where you basically appear on Superstars, lose as often as you win, and don't get near a sniff of a pay-per-view or Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
Naming no names, because I don't want to get us in any trouble here, but
nope,
say that's you as your career mode. What have you really got to offer AEW, honestly? You're probably safer in the rut where you are, earning guaranteed money. Just a thought. And that's wholly my opinion.
Possibly, but that can also mean that you haven't got the passion for the wrestling anymore. You might have lost your passion, which could end up leading you to potentially leaving the business.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. But the point is, yeah, everyone that leaves WWE. Some are going to have time out of the business. Some are going to go to, let's see, Chikara, PWG, MLW, Ring of Honor, TNA, any of the million other promotions in North America, plus New Japan, All Japan, AAA, CMLL, any other Japanese promotion, or Mexican, or possibly even, might I add, to just throw another spanner in the works here, MCW, the Australian WCW,
and
many failing that, Progress Wrestling, ICW,
UKWA, doubtful.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. There's a big WXW.
Yeah.
There's a big wide world of wrestling out there.
Correct.
I think quite a few might end up signing this don't want to go to AEW anyway thing, solely because it's not, as I've just stated, it's not like WWE and AEW are where you make money and otherwise you're appearing for JCW, that's Jimmy's Crappy Wrestling, in the arse end of nowhere. Exactly. There are plenty of ways to make a living in this industry, and so I don't think it's as much of a big deal as the people who've posted this opinion on the internet might be trying to make out it is.
Possibly, but it's rumours has it at the moment.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see on how that turns around.
If anything happens, we'll be all over it and we'll be talking about it, I'm sure. But really, given we've talked about it for 10 minutes, it's just a very long-winded way of saying nothing much to report. We'll bring you more as the story develops.
However, our last topic to discuss...
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
Is something that will probably change the culture.
I am the cult of personality.
Yeah, and something that I never thought that either one of us would be discussing so soon. Because but then again, now's a better time to state it's clobbering time.
Can I just be the first to say, pipe bomb?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. In this week's edition, in the occasional series on The Burning Truth of Holy Shit, Who Saw That Coming? And if you said you're a liar, we have the news of a return of a certain superstar who even the hardcore WWE universe have got bored of chanting the name of, in the faint hope that it might happen.
And, okay, it's happened, but it hasn't happened. It could happen, and we'll have to see how it develops.
Right, let's clarify. WWE Backstage is an attempt at legitimizing wrestling by making not legitimate, you know what I mean, attempt at a other sports such as NFL or NBA style magazine show on Fox Sports 1, FS1 in America, which is kind of like Fox Sports 1's version of This Week in WWE.
Yeah.
If you ever watched that on Sky Sports, where it goes over the events of the week in the company and talks about stuff and gets wrestlers and wrestling personalities in to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hired by Fox Sports 1, we would just like to point out, as far as I'm aware, not by WWE.
Correct.
As part of the analysis team for Backstage.
Yeah.
Is the gobbledygooker. Wait, sorry. No. Is CM Punk.
It's CM Punk. Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people are saying, and you knew this was a surprise, the fact that, did you actually see certain reactions during it?
Yes, as he came on stage and sort of was like, this is awkward, I don't know whether to hug you or just stand here with Renee Young. Did you see the body language of some of the other people on that stage?
Shock. Wow, this is really happening.
Is he really here? Jesus, I did not see that coming. And do you know what the beautiful thing about it is?
Yeah.
Did you hear so much as a fart in a crowded lift about it anywhere on the internet before it happened? No, you did not.
No. There was a rumour going round. There was a rumour going round. And
in
you know
the darkest depths of the we start rumours about CM Punk coming back every other week internet. It wasn't... It was kind of like, you know...
It was, but do you know what the best thing about it is?
What?
Renee. In them rumours. How she handled them. Can't talk about it, not happening, nope. Supposedly been lying, because I believe it in the aftermath of it, in the video that's on YouTube, WWE on Fox, where she's speaking with CM Punk, where she's going, I can stop lying now.
I see. This is, yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not sure what to make of it, but moving forward...
I'll give an opinion on this.
Yeah, okay. While I try and formulate mine in a way that is coherent and doesn't take 20 minutes of barely audible rambling, you give us yours.
My intake on this is, it's a nice little side of looking at it this way. You've got Booker T, Renee Young doing the WWE side.
Yep.
You've got CM Punk who's doing the Fox side. And CM Punk will keep it very, very real.
Oh, absolutely. There will be situations where he is a strong, opinionated gentleman. There will be situations where his opinion may differ from the official WWE line, which Renee and Booker and others may think or may have been told to peddle.
Or to toe.
And that will make
toe the line.
Yeah, and that will make for exciting television. And I think that was Fox's thinking, to be honest.
But at the same time, it can also be the possibility of, could this make him have the itch to want to return?
I actually happen to think, disclaimer, just my opinion, based on nothing more than what I've thought since I heard the news, that this is him putting his toe in the water. This is him stepping back in to the world of wrestling in the most, I'm just dipping a toe in, I just want to see if I can still deal with this every week kind of way to see if it reignites the fire.
Yeah.
And in the future, if he ends up going, yep, do you know what? I want to jump back in the deep end, sign me back up, then he might, but likewise, he might do it for 6 months and then go, yeah, do you know what? It was fun, but I don't like it that much. I don't miss it that much. And so I'm going to go, I'm either going to stay doing analysis or I'm going to
Move on.
leave and go back to doing whatever I was doing before, writing comic books. I'm not 100% sure what he was doing, but it could
If I'm
go
honest
either
with
way.
you,
The fact that he has done this
yeah,
does not guarantee he will return to the ring, and anyone that jumps to the conclusion that it does, premature, massively.
and do you know what the funny thing about it is?
What?
He didn't even realise when he first initially got the offer, assume it was for the analyst role for WWE backstage. He thought he was going to be doing commentary.
He thought he was
going to do commentary
for WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And he didn't know how to react to that.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to react to that because he thought he states in a video, which has been released in regards to the build-up of it, for when he's getting there.
Yeah.
He states he didn't know himself in regards to this. So if anybody wants to see him talking about this, go on to YouTube, which is WWE on Fox. You'll see the video footage of him as he's driving up. The man even wrapped up his head to cover his face when at the studio to hide him being there.
Yeah, he's gone to some lengths, but like I say, we're speculating basically because we have no idea what the future holds. But honestly, I think it's fairly safe to say it's nice to see him back. And if he does come back, I, for one, I don't think I want to see him wrestle anymore. I think that chapter in his career is done. Get him on commentary, seriously. Can you think of...
No,
I don't...
No, I don't think he'll do commentary because I think that is something he will not want to do. You'll see why I'm stating this. You'll have to watch that footage of him speaking. I don't think he will. It'll either be from the analysis, sticking to the analysis, or he's going straight to wrestling.
Okay.
It will not be going to commentary because
I was of the think based on what you said, I thought you'd actually said that he thought initially that he was doing commentary.
He was being offered,
and yet he still signed.
No, he didn't sign. He didn't know how he was going to respond. It was only because Fox actually re-explained what they meant.
I see. I'm with you. Well, yeah, it's nice to have CM Punk back because now, forever, everyone who spent the last 6 years going, "When's CM Punk coming back?" can shut up.
CM Punk, CM Punk. He's now on TV for you.
Yeah, so if you really, 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 really wanted him back, there he is. Stop moaning. He's there. Right. Cherish it for whatever length of time it lasts. And
correct.
Don't be a dick and don't be one of the people who hounds him on social media and make him quit again.
Yeah.
Please.
Please don't. And don't do a Seth Rollins and challenge him to a match.
Seriously, does that guy not know when to open his mouth and take his foot out of it?
Especially on social media. Yeah, correct. But anyway, that's going to be it. I could have gone into another subject in regard to CM Punk. There's not time for it. But
no, we've rambled on far long enough, and you've still got the plugs to do. So that pretty much wraps everything up for next week. But just don't forget, we have made a teaser into next week. So stay tuned to find out whether we remember to talk about that.
Which is in regards to Brock and Vince McMahon.
Yes. Plus, next week will also feature Survivor Series predictions.
I like to see what you did there. But anyway, I'll jump onto the plugs right now for quick speed, which is please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance, for all training needs. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Beginner classes are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Check out on their social media for all directions. Check out JFX 3D. Check out Mind Changes for Health and Wellbeing. Message for Mind. Donna Louise charities. Please check out the New Breed, Camens, Blackpool, great music. For the light side of wrestling, please check out Bottomania, WrestleCrap, and I'll mention the third one shortly for another reason, because there's another topic I'm going to have to laugh my ass off in a minute.
Oh, okay, but yeah, cheers guys, all of you. responsible for
you're
that.
welcome. You're welcome, Matthew. You're welcome, RD. And the third lighter side option is OSW Review. Thank you very much for OSW Review for checking out. And do you want to hear a funny thing about it is?
Oh, come on, you've built it up that much. Of course I do.
Hulk Hogan shared their link.
Nice.
One problem.
What would that be?
Has he actually listened to their episodes?
I'm guessing from that, are they moderately less than complimentary about him? They are, aren't they? They're less than complimentary.
He showed it out. OSW put a post out, like a comment on it, like, I don't know whether I'm working myself into a shoot here. What the hell? Like, and it's like, I don't even think they've even complimented how the hell that happens. It's either Hogan having a joke at himself, or he genuinely doesn't even watch the episode, or episodes, and it's like, oh, good lord.
Let's be honest, I properly hope it is just Hogan having a laugh at his own expense.
Possibly. I'm hoping.
Well, that's what I seriously hope as well.
But anyway, we digress. We're going to continue on. Please check out some YouTube stars and also TikTok stars, of course. Phil DeFranco on YouTube, When Fandom Strikes on YouTube and TikTok. Luke Moto, who's on YouTube, and check out the YouTube series First with Feast, especially the hot ones. Please check out Pull and Pass Radio Show, which is for all things nerdy and geeky, especially with DC Comics and Marvel Comics and everything and whatnot. Please check out We the Independents for their great interviews and check out what they're currently doing for the British for independent wrestling as a whole. Of course, we also recommend you check out Train Pop Culture podcast, especially where they talk about wrestling, all things, basically random topics from time to time, be it from talking about alcohol, be it movies, be it from any general topic, and wrestling, of course. We also recommend you check out Fallow, always talking about wrestling, in Fallow podcast, which is Think Wrestling with his interviews and as such. We also recommend you check out, for all party needs, check out Babaloony, and of course, check out for custom-made wrestling music, Kayfabe Music UK, because I could be potentially having some news about them coming soon. That'll be a nice little thing.
Yeah, and don't forget, the intro and outro theme to this very show are made by said fine folks.
Correct, and they are amazing. And I believe they've actually even stated that some of their original tracks are £50 to have. And you can even have some minor modifications on there as well. And for all custom ones, £60.
Yeah, that would basically be yours to then keep and use as your entrance music in your career as a wrestler, to play in your career as a DJ at weddings and parties, or whatever the hell else you like. You will own it. It will be yours to do as you please with.
For you to use as much as you want. But anyway, we digress. Please check out Turnbuckle TV, of course, if you want to sign up to Turnbuckle TV. We recommend you check it out by going on to www.turnbuckletv/insert promotion there. I would massively appreciate it if it was UKWA.
But it could be any one of the 30+ promotions currently on the site.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's all on there for just $3.99. Yes, $3.99. That is £3.99 pound a week.
That's a hair shy of £1 a week.
Correct. And for checking out all local wrestling shows, please check out UK. Please check out UK Wrestling Alliance. I had to put that one in again. Of course, United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling, The Bags Pro Wrestling for You, Falling Star, PCW, ICW.
Future Shock, ICW. Hold on. You've said half the ones I normally say.
Slam Wrestling.
LCW, Slam Wrestling. Basically, stick a pin in a map near you. There'll be a wrestling promotion there. And if you're really still not sure if where you live has a wrestling promotion nearby, check out a handy little app that you can find one on.
Yes, which is on your phone, which is none other than Babyface Wrestling UK, which is for the amazing price of
Nothing
at all.
Absolutely free.
And of course, you can also follow the companies, and of course, you can also follow the wrestlers,
including one Mr. M. Burns, Esquire.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, you can also follow UK Debray on there. We greatly appreciate that if you did.
Yes.
But anyway, we digress. And
That's
I believe they also have blogs on there as well. We also want to give a massive shout out to the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. You know what's on there. Any of the external links on there, we cannot be held responsible, because we cannot be held responsible for any external links and sources.
For any external content.
Of course. The only
content we can be held responsible for is the ones you hear us talking in.
Potentially, yeah. Whoa. Not in what we're talking in, just in what we have control of, which is...
Essentially, if it comes under the banner of the Burning Truth. Otherwise, we can't be held responsible.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. Please check out our social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We've got past episode on Spotify. And that will be a wrap-up for this week.
Apart from the traditional closing thing of look after yourself.
Please
both
look
physically
after yourself.
And mentally. And remember the magic...
yeah, of course.
The magic phrase, don't be a dick. Oh, sorry, no, that's not it.
No, that's another show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the magic phrase, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes, it is, as always, and please stay awesome, and if you're not, don't worry, as long as it's okay to be not okay, and it's
also
not...
okay to reach out for help if you think you need it, because there are plenty of places that you can get it.
Correct, and it's not a sign of weakness at all, it's a strength.
And you will always find a sympathetic ear. It's a strength to say that you've fallen and pick yourself back up, so don't be afraid to do it.
Correct, and of course, with all that, we always recommend you all to please check us out next week. We will be back next week for our regular scheduled programming, and with that, this is a wrap up for this week. So with that, I'm ending this on the old saying we haven't officially ended it on for a while, which is stay safe, be well, and of course, as always, please check out your local wrestling. Until then, we'll catch you later.
Thank you for listening, and good night.
Good night.